Yes, yes, yes. Mr. Raphie Dawkins with the Combat Radio and with an impromptu one. Let me get my screen right. Let's get the screen right. Okay. Okay. All right. Mike is in position and hopefully you are in position. Position standing up, sitting down, however you like to drive in your car, riding your bike, however you like to listen to the RDCR. We are here. We are here. And we have to talk about this one. Let me get my screen right again. Switching up, switching moves, changing position. Okay. That's what we're talking about tonight, primarily, happily, merrily. Who's lying? Who's lying? What's the name of the title? Wilder, Ruiz, Saga. Who's lying? Tonight we reveal the truth. We do a deep dive, an investigation into the sequence of events which ultimately led to lying accusations. We're going to get through it all from A to Z. Or Z. We say Z over here in the UK. And we're talking from the Dawkins Towers, RDCR, Raphie Dawkins Combat Radio. You know it makes sense. Okay, so how are we going to do this? Let's have a look. Let's do a quick systems check. Okay, that's in order. Now what's this here? Okay, that's fine. It's a little message. Let's do the sound check. It's a little message. Okay. Let's cut the music just for a moment. Ease up on that. Let's see what it sounds like. Cut the music just for a moment. Let's do the sound check. Yes, yes, yes. That sounds good to me. Got to get the balance right. Okay. So, without further ado, let's get into this thing. Hello and welcome, one and all. Tune in and break the knob off because we're going in for a deep dive. Let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at that. Okay. Can I get rid of anything? This thing seems rather clustered. I don't want to. I think we're gonna, as a matter of fact, rat-tat-tat-tat, let's get that pinned. That's first things first. Will it happen? Let's get the poll up. Let's get the poll up. Okay, so will it happen? Will it happen? Should that be the question, or who wins? Will it happen? Yay, nay? Okay, it's gonna have to be a yay, nay. Okay, that's terrible. That's terrible wording. That's terrible wording. Let's delete that. End the poll and get rid of it. That's terrible wording. Terrible wording. Let's go again. Start the poll. Wilder, Ruiz. Will it happen? Question mark. Yay, nay, much better. Yay, nay, yay, nay. Okay, so it's in, and the question is, Will it happen? Will Wilder versus Ruiz happen? Let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back to the beginning of the saga. Let's scroll down. Okay, there it is. That's the beginning. That's the beginning of this thing. Let's get rid of that for a second. Okay, I think we're in good shape. Let's line this up and share. Okay. So, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that share button as I take you on a journey. Because as you know, Andreas the Ponce Ruiz Sr., in response to Deontay Wilder's offer came out, we thought it was going to happen. We thought it was going to be relatively smooth sailing when Deontay Wilder came out and said, "We've sent Andy Ruiz a hell of an offer. And then Andy Ruiz Sr. came out and said, over the last couple of days, Deontay Wilder is a liar. They offered us 30%. 30 measly percent. He's a liar and a deceiver. OMG. So we're going to have to look at this, and try to decipher the truth. Oh. And Deontay Wilder came back yesterday with his response to Andy Ruiz Sr.'s response. So we're going to start at the beginning and work our way to the end. Okay, let's just shuffle a few things around as we move. Okay, so let's get into this. Right, so Deontay started when? What's the date on this? The 24th of June. It's now the 29th, so that's been quick moving. What's that, 4 or 5 days? Yeah, 5 days, the 29th. Okay, so over the space of 5 days, got a hell of a lot of drama. Hell of a lot of, what's the word? Turbulence. With this situation, Deontay Wilder versus Andy Ruiz. So let's start at the beginning. Hope you can see this on your screen. Okay, so Deontay Wilder sends hell of an offer. This is the 24th of June. Hell of an offer to heavyweight rival for next fight. Time's up. Okay. So, what does this say? Okay, so last time Deontay Wilder was out, he dispatched Finnish heavyweight Roberto Helenius in the first round. That's not Robert Helenius. That's Amanda Nunes from the UFC. She retired in her last fight. Okay. So, yeah, that was his sparring partner. Knocked him out in the first round. Robert Helenius. Okay. So, all right. So, after that victory, the WBC officially ordered the Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder, to face Andreas the Ponce Ruiz as a final eliminator for the shot at the WBC title holder, Luke Fury. Okay. So, the talks dragged on and everything went quiet. Did they drag on, or did they even have talks? I don't know. I don't know if they even had talks. However, Malik Scott, who trains Wilder since the second Fury fight, after the second Fury fight, has taken to social media to confirm an offer has been sent to the Destroyer. Is that what they call him? Andreas the Ponce Ruiz, the Destroyer. I tell you what, he'll demolish the average man's chin, and he'll demolish a pizza, full-size family pizza, and a whole tub of Ben and Jerry's ice cream. He'll demolish that, all right, mate. He'll demolish that. Watch on Instagram. What's this gonna say? Oh yeah, silence. It was just a silent moving camera saying time's up, as seen on the t-shirt. Okay, so as we know, Andreas the Ponce Ruiz, why do I call him the Ponce? That's his middle name, the Ponce. Andreas the Ponce Ruiz hasn't seen much ring action of late. His last fight was 10 months ago in a close decision victory over the 52-year-old Cuban Luis Ortiz. Some say old Tease. Well, you know what they say, respect your elders, okay. So, he argues that Wilder will be taking a huge gamble in taking on one of the top contenders before a proposed money-spinning bout with Anthony Joshua at the end of the year in Saudi Arabia under the Skills Challenge banner. Okay, let me just pause for a second, see what's going on in the chat. Okay, and let us continue. Okay, so what's going on here? What's going on? Oh, is that it? Time's up. We're doing our part, and we sent a hell of an offer. So they state, we sent you an hell of an offer. The ball is in your court now. Let's get it signed and sealed and delivered. Okay, so those were the words of Malik Scott on his official Instagram. He's got a blue tick. It's official, y'all. Okay, so that was the opening salvo. So let's close that down. So that was step one. Now let me go into my videos because I have this chronicled. In my videos. Okay. Oh yeah. And then Andy Ruiz responded. How did he respond? What am I showing? How do you respond? Let's get rid of that. Let's get this shared. Oops. There it is. Okay, so Andreas the Ponce Ruiz responded to Malik Scott's Instagram post and responded, we're coming. Okay, so all was well thus far. Okay, and then what was the next step? We're coming. Okay. Oh, MG. Dang. It's a good thing I had all of this chronicled. Makes it rather easy to navigate through it. So the next thing we heard was Andy Ruiz Sr. says Deontay Wilder is a liar. He offered us 30%. We want a 50-50 split. Okay, so that was 2 days ago. Things went very, very fast. Things developed very, very fast. That was 2 days ago. Okay. So you're keeping up thus far. We're chronicling the events after the offer. After the offer. Okay, let's keep it moving. Okay. Okay, this is good. This is good. And so that brings us up to today. Remember the polls there? So get your votes in. Get your votes in. We got the Philip Carl Roberts has joined us. We got the Bruce Gas Boxing and Jazz and more up in the building. Okay, so let us continue. We're going through the chronicles. Step 1 was the offer sent by Team Wilder to Andreas the Punch Ruiz. That was step 1. Step 2, I said it was a very generous offer. Step 2 was Andy Ruiz Sr. calling Deontay Wilder a liar. They sent us a BS offer. They offered us only 20. What's this name? I never even noticed. It was the red gloved militant up in the building. How do you do? I thought that was Philip Carl Roberts for a second. OMG. Okay. So yeah, step 2 was the anger-filled post by Andy Ruiz Sr. So they sent us a BS offer. They only offered us 30% when we want a 50-50 split. And that takes us up to step 3, the final part thus far. And that's what we're going to get into. Deontay Wilder did an interview. What's this chap's name? I don't know this cat's name, but shout out to him anyway. OMG. Okay, so what's going on? We're going to get into this now. Let's line that up and let's line this up. How many people take part in the vote? Okay, it's neck and neck. We'll leave that up there. Let's get into this. Let's get the levels right. Let's get the balance right. And I hope you can hear this okay. Let me clear this thing. Okay. Let's line.
Let's get to where the bread and butter is, right? It sounds like Andy Ruiz. I saw your message to him. You know, his message to you. I know his dad recently came out saying that you guys offered him the 730. Yeah, 730. He said he wants more like.
Okay, so this is a Mexican fellow trying to find his name. Can't find his name, but an interview done by Deontay Wilder yesterday. Let's get into it.
50-50. I don't know what's the latest. What can you
talk about? How he know it's 70-30? I don't even know what's in the pot. My damn self. So how did he know what's up in the pot? You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so first thing is so the first thing is that Deontay Wilder disputes that it's 70-30. Deontay Wilder say, the hell damn, I don't even know what's in the pot. How he know what's in the pot? So, question mark, is it 7:30? Let's go.
He coming with all this money. I haven't said nothing about money. I haven't said anything about anything. But let's fight. Let's get this on. You know what I mean? You don't negotiate how good you can negotiate your own term and price. The only thing about having fathers and families involved in this, they got hidden.
Okay. So you don't know how much is in the pot. How the hell do you know how much is in the pot? I need to keep track of this. Let me make notes. Let me take notes. How much is in the pot? Okay, that's one. Okay. Let us continue on.
You can negotiate your own term and price. The only thing about having fathers and families involved in this, they got hidden agendas. You understand me? With his father, he got a construction business and stuff. That ain't Andy's. That's his father's. And of course, his father's going to look at his company and going to look at his son being able to make money in this. And hey, I want a little bit some of that. When you don't have to throw not one punch, you don't have to take not one blow.
Okay, so there is an allegation from Deontay Wilder that the father's getting in the way. The father's getting in the way of a great fight. The father's got his hand in the cookie jar. The father's getting a percentage. The father is a manager and he's getting the manager's percentage. How much is his percentage? Is the father being an obstacle to your greatness? Is your father being an obstacle to your greatness? You believe in Google, don't you? Let us continue.
But you want to take your son money and act like you did something or it going towards building houses and stuff. That's bullshit. Because when he go broke, he going to be looking at his son and all the things that his son bought. He's going to be saying, son, come here. Let me lecture you on how to save your money. See, they don't want to lecture on.
There's another allegation that some of Andy Ruiz Jr., some of his funds have been siphoned off into his father's business. They say it's our business. Deontay Wilder says it's his father's business. Does Andy have his name up there as one of the owners of the company? What about Andy Ruiz versus Dillian White? Well, they tried that, didn't they? They offered Andy Ruiz $5 million against Dillian White, and he turned it down. He ended up fighting. Luis Ortiz for $1 million. OMG. Butter is right about family. But yeah, you gotta be careful. It's the nearest and dearest who can hurt you the most. OMG. Real talk. Also, how do you make an offer without knowing what's in the pot? Yeah, well, that's a tricky one because, how do you make a big offer without knowing what's in the pot? Let's address that now then. The way I look at it is they're looking at their previous PPVs or their last PPVs. Now, Wilder, Andreas the Punch Ruiz did 67,000 in his last PPV. That was against Luis Ortiz. Allegedly picked up a cool $1 million for that fight after turning down $4 or $5 million to fight Dillian White. Dang, some of these people, man. They're okay, let's say it's PBC and let's say even they double it. Okay, so $2 million max. Okay, fine. So Deontay Wilder sold 10,000 more PPVs, which equals 77,000 PPVs against his sparring partner, Roberto Hellenius, the Nordic Nightmare, or the Nordic Snorer. I jest. Okay, so I guess they're looking at them figures and they're extrapolating and they're calculating. And so if Ruiz has been offered, let's say, 5 mil, then senior Andreas the Pond Senior is saying, well, 5 mil for us. We know what the figures will be. Overall, the pot should be, with my son fighting you, the pot should be 15 million. To come up with a figure, they're saying 15 million. There's 15 million in the pot. We're looking at 7.5 for us and 7.5 for you. But they're saying no. You're getting 5, because Malik Scott came out and said that fight must be worth 4 or 5 million to Andy Ruiz. That fight might be worth 4 or 5 million. So if that was said, and I think something must have been said, surely. If that was said, if it was said to Andreas the Punch Ruiz, yeah, you're looking at 4 or 5 million. Then Andy Ruiz Sr. has gone away and said, well, no, there should be 15 million in the pot. That's only 30%, maybe 33%. That's only 33% they offering you. We can't take that. You was the champ. How they gonna offer you just 33%? That's an insult. Malik Scott did say it's worth 4 or 5 mil. So I can't understand how they could have had discussions and Deontay Wilder could have said to him it's a big offer without either a percentage mentioned or an actual dollar amount. So that's a good question. We're the inside now. Okay, let us continue.
Hey, I'm gonna take a little bit too. How much percentage I want to know how much percentage he getting of his son. That's what I want to know. You know, I hear a lot of things and stuff like that. And Andy gotta stand up and take charge of his own career because he only have a limited time left. It's only a few years left. You're 33. You're a short heavyweight. You know, with short arms. So you're only gonna go so far. You know, and then they talking about, well, he's a champion, I was a champion 50-50. Andy only been a champion for as long as a blink of an eye. I've been a champion for 5 years with 10 title defenses.
Andy's only been a champion for the twinkling of an eye. Whereas I've been champ for five years, 10 defenses. It's a fair point. Talking about who deserves what, who deserves more. And that's point 3. Who deserves more? And how much more? Who deserves more? Sam, I can't have a poll for every question. Okay? The poll is in the chat. Type part in the poll so I can shut it down and bring up another one. 3 twinkles. Well, it was the 6 months. Was it 6 months? Did Andreas the Pons have the title for 6 months? Something like that. 5 months. 10 title defenses. Well, I think 7 of them. Well, 6 of them were against Walmart employees. Even it's probably 7. The only legitimate ones, you could say Luis Ortiz won, and I guess the Fury fight. So that's 4. But then But then, did you want to see the last one? Did you want to see the last title? Well, that wasn't even the title defense, was it? Because his only title defense against Fury was the two. The first one, that was a draw. And the second one, where he lost, okay. So those were sensible ones. And then maybe one against Luis Ortiz. Yeah, okay. But other than that, nah. He did have 3 belts. He did have 3 belts in the twinkling of an eye. Deontay held on to Sofa for 5 years. OMG. Okay, so who deserves more? That's the question. That's a fair question. Who deserves more? Where is the poll? Because I'm going to have to take it down at some point. Okay, I think I'm going to take it down right about now. Because we need another poll. We need another poll up. What's this here? I'm going to have to refresh this screen to get the poll results. I think need another poll up. Uh-oh. I think I do. Okay. Let's get this poll up and then we can continue this journey, this voyage. Okay, so the question was, Wilder Ruiz, will it happen? 36%, that's just over a third. 36% of respondents said yes. 63% of respondents said no. Okay, so that's 1/3 say yay, 2/3 say nay. OMG. And YouTube kept 1% for themselves. Damn. Uncle Burnt Apostrophe up in the building. How you doing? UBA. The Dr. Woodok up in the building. How do you do? That was a double treat. You know, sometimes over here at the RDC, we give you a little double. We give you a little treat. We double up. Double up on it. Okay. As we move, we continue our investigation into who's lying. Let's just continue.
It's no comparison. I can fight anywhere in the world, which I'm getting offers all over. You know what I mean? You'll see soon come out. I'm getting offers all over because of my talent. I don't need belts. I got the power that people want to see. I put people on the edge of their seat every time they watch me. What does Andy has to offer?
I put people on the edge of their seats. I've got power. I've got God-given abilities. OMG. Shouldn't it go to purse bids? Shouldn't it go to purse bids? Well, I suppose it could go to purse bids, but it didn't go to purse bids, and Deontay Wilder's side just come up with an offer. They weren't interested in the WBC mandatory for how many months? This was made last year. If they were interested, if they were fighting for that, I don't think they're fighting for that. I think they're fighting because Deontay Wilder says, well, hey, this is a good fight. They've looked at it stylistically. We can beat this. We can bash this fat kid up. Fat kid with the short arms. We can bash him up. We can keep him on the end. We can keep him on the outside, and boom, step in with a rocket launcher, take his head clean off his fat neck. Take his fat head clean off his fat neck. That's what they're banking on. I don't really think they're too particular about it being a Mando. I don't think that's why they're fighting, because it's a Mando. You know what I mean? I don't think that's the reason they're fighting. Let's have a look. Well, it was ruled as a WBC eliminator, but I don't think that's why they're fighting, because they totally ignored that, didn't they? I don't think that's why Deontay made the offer. Didn't go out to purse bids. I just think they said, hey, as a matter of fact, why don't we fight him? Why don't we make the fight? Why don't we cut out the middleman? Why don't we make the fight? So I think that's what they're looking at. If the WBC come to them talking about any nonsense, Deontay Wilder will say, man, just shut that noise, man. We're not interested in that. I just want to fight the guy. I can make some good money. He can make a chunk of change. And I think they're proceeding on that basis. Okay. Let us continue on.
Where people will be ready to run and see him fight. Of course, it's a great fight because he's fighting me. People want to see him, how I'm going to knock him out. Not just him himself. You know what I'm saying? So it's a big difference when you're talking about Andy Ruiz and the Deontay Wilder. It just really is. And if he don't take full advantage of this opportunity, he's going to miss out. I feel he's going to be put on the shelf. Nobody's going to want to work with him. Who he's going to fight? They talking about who I'm going to fight. I got a lot of people to fight.
Okay. That's an interesting point. If you don't fight me, who are you going to fight? Because if it's true, he only made $1 million to fight Luis Ortiz last year. And that's a bad scene. Where's his drawing power? They were saying that, he's a Mexican. He's going to get the Mexican fans behind him. But, they only pulled in 67,000. The Mexican versus the Cuban. That was the battle for Latin America. They pulled in 67,000. So do the boxing public have that great of an appetite for Andreas the Punch Ruiz? It don't look like it. I venture to say it does not look like it. So let us, as a matter of fact, let me just do a quick poll. Let me get a quick poll up because the last one's come down. So let's get the next one up. And the question is, what should be split? What should be the split? 30, 70. Ruiz. Okay. 35. 65. Man, what's going on here? Got pound signs, question marks, all kind of shizzle. $35, $65. Wilder had an option. $40, $60. Another option. 50, 50. Okay. 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 Okay, so there it is. What should be the split? 30-70, 35-65, 40-60, or 50-50. Get your votes in. Gave out him while stocks last. Okay. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, I don't think anybody would tune into that. I don't even think Wilder's pappy would tune into that. What we got here? The fight doctor is in the building. Okay. Let's just drop this in case. Oh no, what's that? That's the wrong thing. Let's copy this. Let's drop this in. Boom. 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 Okay, what people saying? Wilder deserves the lion's share. Sweeten the deal with a few cheesecakes. I don't know, strawberry, blueberry, I don't know. Marcellus might tune in. To what? I'm lost. What's going on here? Uncle Burnt apostrophe says probably 50-50 probably, but up to 60-40 for Wilder. If Ruiz has to get it made. What was the question? What should be the split? Okay, so people responding to what should be. So you're saying the split should be 50-50. How the hell should the split be 50-50? How is Ruiz? How is Ruiz a 50% entity in this matchup? How the hell does that make sense? How the hell does 50-50 make sense? Is Ruiz, who had the title for a twinkling of an eye, a 50% entity in this fight? What the hell are you talking about? Oh, yeah, I get you. Yeah, well, yeah. Marcellus might tune in. Yeah, possibly. I wouldn't even bank on that, though. How the hell are people saying 50-50? I want some explanations. Now, this is funny. How the hell, somebody tell me, how is Ruiz a 50% entity in this fight? Out for a 40-60 split. Yeah, I can understand that. Because we're the inside now. But how is Ruiz a 50% entity in this matchup? How? What makes Ruiz a 50% entity in this? The question is, what should be the split? How is Ruiz a 50% entity in that thing? Yo, that's mad to me. That's crazy. But show me your workings. You come up with an answer now. Show the workings. That's crazy, yo. In his last fight. Yeah, I think it's about the body of work, isn't it? It's about the body of work. Some of you cats kill me, man. A little bit of logic, that's all. Is that too much to ask? A little bit of logic? Is that too much to ask? Yeah, no 50-50. What the hell are people on? What's Anthony Joshua got to do with this? Where's the logic in that? What's Anthony Joshua got to do with this? What's Anthony Joshua got to do with this? Show me the workings. Logic, please. Ruiz has a big body. Okay, that's code for there is no logic. Some of you cats kill me, man. You just pick a number out of the air and say, yeah, that sounds good. Let's go with that. Oh, Lord. Hey, damn. Anyway, let me continue. Let us continue.
Lots. And then, like I always say, I've managed my money well. I don't need this business. This business needs me. The friends hit me all everywhere I go. When you tell we need you, we can't do this. The heavyweight division ain't the same without you. You know what I mean? All the time. You know what I mean? I still have the love for it. That's why I continue to do it. But I don't have to do it no more. Can he really say the same? From the outside looking in and what I'm hearing, I don't think so.
I don't got to do this no more. I don't got to do this no more. I made some wise investments. And I don't think he can say, I should be doing this in Wilder Boys. I made some wise investments. Can he say the same? I don't think so. Victory over AJ supersedes Wilder's entire career. I don't know why people love to take things out of context. That victory, there are circumstances and factors allegedly behind that victory. If it is true that Joshua was concussed in training, he should have been pulled out. But it's alleged that because it was his debut in America at Madison Square, where was it? Madison Square Gardens, I think so. He didn't want to pull out, so he fought when he shouldn't have been fighting. So, you have to put things into context. They had a rematch 5 months after, and that fight took a very different complexion. Those music royalties, what's going on? We'll get to you in a second fight, Dr. Uno Momento. AJ's victory. No, I mean, 6 months later, he came out as a fat bag of. That showed his caliber. The fight with AJ, the first fight with AJ didn't show his caliber. What showed his caliber was his defense of that belt. You know what I'm saying? I mean, to myself and many others, you don't become a champ when you win the belt. You become a champ when you defend the belt. OMG. The Fight Doctor. Introduce yourself to the people and come on in.
Yo, Fight Doctor's in the house on Rig James status as always. Good evening, sir.
How do you do, Fight Doctor? I hope you're well over there in Chi-Town.
Oh, I'm doing well. Well, we're dealing with the fallout from the Canadian forest fires.
Oh, wow.
The air quality here, yeah. So we've had a bit of smog, which is strange and unusual for us.
Dang.
Because this is the first time that I've experienced this. I've been in Chicago all my life.
Yeah.
And like going outside and seeing the smoke from the forest fires, this is all new.
That's crazy. Yo.
Yeah.
Crazy, yo.
Yeah.
But you're living, you're alive, you're here. And talk to me about this shiznix going down right now.
So it all comes down to options, right? Between the two of them, who has more options? Who puts more rear ends in seats? Who sells more pay-per-views? Who would you rather see? Pillsbury Doughboy or a certified knockout artist? Like, honestly, who would you rather see in a fight?
For me,
yeah.
it would be Deontay Wilder.
Yeah. Now, we can criticize Deontay Wilder for many reasons, and there's a lot to criticize there. But there's one thing, right, that we know for certain, that when we watch a Deontay Wilder fight, we're going to see Deontay Wilder in shape, who's come to fight, and it's probably going to be a knockout. Meaning the ending will be satisfying.
Yeah.
Right? But when we watch it,
we're going to get the money shot.
Exactly. Right? We're going to get blood and guts. Even when he loses, it's exciting to watch.
It's funny.
Yeah, fun. That too. I'm agreeing. I'm agreeing with you. But when we watch an Andy Ruiz fight, I mean, what are we going to get?
What are we going to get? What are we going to get, Uncle Burnt Apostrophe? What are we going to get, Dari pennant? You need to pay some penance, Dari.
So this idea on the part of Team Ruiz that they are somehow entitled to 50% of the pot in a fight with Deontay Wilder, in my mind, flies in the face of logic and reason. What have you done other than,
What have you done other than TKO concussed Joshua?
Right. I mean, okay, that was nice. How long ago was that? And what have you done since?
What have you done for me lately?
Right. What have you done for me lately? And boxing is a very what have you done for me lately type of sport.
Yeah.
Okay, so you handed in Anthony Joshua his first loss. And what have you done since then?
Yeah. Well, to me, like I said before, you only become a champion when you defend your belt successfully, not lose it in the first defense.
So listen, maybe there's something that Andrew Ruiz knows that we don't. Maybe perhaps there's some big fight on the table. Somebody's made some huge, humongous offer for his services that trumps the pittance he would receive for fighting Deontay Wilder for less than 50%, right? Maybe that's the case.
Maybe.
And I say to Team Ruiz, if you have a better offer than 30 or 35% against a guy who's arguably the biggest draw in the heavyweight division, definitely the biggest draw, Deontay Wilder. Arguably. I'm not saying he is.
Nowhere near the biggest draw in the heavyweight division. Nowhere near.
Well,
retract that.
He is at minimum. He is at minimum. He is at minimum the biggest draw in the American heavyweight scene.
Okay.
Can we agree there?
We can agree on that.
All right.
What are you saying?
Maybe perhaps Andrew Ruiz has a better deal. Okay. So if he has options better than what he's being offered to fight Deontay Wilder for 30 or 35%, then he should elect to take that option. Take that option. Because I'm sure that Deontay Wilder can go somewhere else.
Yeah.
There's a host of guys who are lining up to fight him to make more similar or more money than he would make fighting the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Wilder Ortiz 2 made 250,000 PPV buys compared to Andy Ruiz versus Luis Ortiz that generated 65,000 buys. Wilder Ortiz 2. Yeah. Boom. Well, there you go. That's a common opponent. That's a common opponent. And we see that gives us a glimpse, maybe, an insight into Ruiz's drawing power. It ain't much. He hasn't cloaked himself in glory. He had one shining moment, and then in the very next fight, he went and messed it up. He had one shining moment, and in the very next fight, he came in fatter than the pills, fatter than the Michelin man. You know what I'm saying? So he's non-reliable character. then he dropped his trainer, and then he went over to Canelo's trainer, and then he wasn't coming up, he wasn't showing up every day, just like with his previous trainer. Then he dropped that trainer and got his own gym. So nobody can say whether he's coming in every day or not. He's an unreliable character. Now, recently, well, a couple of years back, I just randomly turned on my Instagram and I saw that Andreas the Ponce was live, and I just clicked on it randomly because he was live, and it showed him some weird situation with some kind of looked like he was near a swimming pool, and it was nighttime, and there was this woman there who wasn't his wife, looking kind of strange in a bikini, and then it went off. And then a few minutes later, it went live again. I said, what the hell's going on here? And then he was in a passionate embrace with a woman that was clearly not his wife. And he stuck his tongue down our throat. I thought, what the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing? And then I didn't record it. I should have done. And then a few minutes later, I said, did I really see what I thought I saw? So I went back to his Instagram, and it had been deleted. So he's been having some marital issues for at least a couple of years. Now it's come to light that he's left it wasn't his wife, it was his longtime girlfriend, and the mother of a couple of his kids. I think he got 5. She's the mother to around a couple of them. So his personal life right now is probably a bit like Teofimo Lopez's. It's messy. It's messy. So he's got that on his mind as well. Do we really want to fight? Wilder may well be lowballing him, as he mentions Ruiz need the money. You need the money. Strong arm tactics, perhaps? Question mark. Wilder is sitting pretty off his investments in his song he released. Yeah, he's released the whole album. Sound good to me. I like the sound of his music. Sound good to me. Deontay Wilder is indeed fun to watch. Unfortunately for him, his fans tend to stream. His fans tend to stream and not buy these PPVs. What's going on with the American streaming? That's the streaming capital of the world over there with you Yankees. What's going on, Fight Doctor?
So I think the problem is that Americans have figured out that we're not going to pay these outlandish pay-per-view prices for fights that are not worthy. Right now, I'll give you an example. Spence and Crawford.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy that fight because it's worthy. It's a fight I want to see. It's a fight for legitimacy at welterweight. It's a fight that is historically significant. This fight is, in my opinion.
Yeah. Right.
So in terms of its overall boxing relevance, you have to buy this fight. You just have to if you're a real boxing fan. But when we get pay-per-views like what's some of the garbage that we've got lately that was on
pay-per-views? What's the silly one?
Like the Adrian Broner crap that we got a few weeks ago.
Okay.
Adrian Broner fighting a guy who,
who that guy?
He's actually an attorney. That's his profession. He moonlights as a boxer.
That's hilarious. Right?
And this fight is supposed to be on pay-per-view. Now, it was like a $30 pay-per-view, however much it was, but still, why do I need to pay to watch a guy who hasn't beaten anyone of any significance in approaching a decade fight on a $30 pay-per-view? Why isn't this fight can't be on ESPN or some other outlet or free TV? Wait, look, boxing really needs to go back to free TV.
Yeah, of course it does. It'd be beneficial to everybody.
It would be beneficial. Look, reach the largest possible audience.
Hell yeah.
And as long as you put on fights that the people want to see, people will watch. And
Get
the
your name out
advertisers
there.
will pay.
Get your name out there on free to TV bouts. Get your name out there. Get people. If you got a good style, people will get excited. If people get excited, they'll be more inclined to pay to watch you. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. And for the super mega fights that really demand pay-per-view, okay, fine. Like a fight like Spence and Crawford. I don't mind. Yeah. Because it's a big fight. Two hungry, worthy fighters in their prime or near their prime at the top of their game to decide who is really going to be the guy at 147 pounds. I mean, this fight has intrigue, it has drama, it has the public stirring. Okay,
hell yeah!
It's two guys who are evenly matched.
For real.
You right. So you pick either guy. It's not a wrong pick. So this is a legitimate pay-per-view worthy fight, and this is what pay-per-view used to be reserved for back in the day.
Is Wilder versus Ruiz a legitimate pay-per-view fight?
No. Stop. Full stop. No, it is not.
Yeah.
Good fight. A good fight. But pay-per-view, no. Now in the modern, I guess in the things have to be put in their proper context. And in today's pay-per-view world, you know, if this fight happens, I would imagine it's going to happen on pay-per-view. But, you know, in my mind, no, this is not a pay-per-view worthy fight. Because, I mean, first and foremost, you know, Deontay Wilder might be the most popular American heavyweight, but he's not really a pay-per-view draw.
Exactly.
Okay, I mean, honestly, he's not.
No.
And Ruiz, I don't need to even go into that, okay? Because this guy, I mean, what is the Ortiz fight? That was his last fight. Did what? How many? 65,000 pay-per-views? And that fight was trash. And Ruiz looked like trash. Okay? So no, this fight is not a pay-per-view worthy fight. It just isn't. Okay, now that's what they're gonna do to us, right? This fight is gonna be on pay-per-view if it happens.
Yeah.
But is it pay-per-view worthy? No. Hell no.
What's the appropriate split for this fight?
65-35 or 60-40.
Yeah.
Wilder. I mean, Wilder is the bigger name. And look, at the end of the day, it's all about leverage. And who has the leverage here? Who has the most
leverage? Come on, man. Come on.
Right.
Let's be logical about this damn thing.
Between the two of them, who reasonably has more options?
Yeah, who made the offer? Who? If Ruiz had leverage, he'd be making the offer to Deontay Wilder.
Exactly.
Just like how all the offers came from Joshua to Wilder. Because he's the guy with the leverage. Who got the juice?
Who's got the juice?
Who got the juice?
And from where I'm sitting, Wilder has crates and crates, cartons and cartons. Yeah. Whereas, you know, Ruiz has about, you know, half a gallon. Okay, maybe a quart. I'm sorry, you guys are on the metric system, so you know, Ruiz has about a liter of juice.
Yeah. Better Uncle Burnt Apostrophe says, better not to argue with you when you're set. Listen, my friend, it ain't a question of me being set. It's just a question of me asking a logical question. Who is the greater economic? Who has the greater economic draw? Who is the greater economic draw? And out of the two guys, it's unquestionably Deontay Wilder. It's just a logic question. It's not an emotional question. It's a question of logic. Now, if we're dealing with it logically, which is what we're doing, then Deontay Wilder is the A side. So then how the hell can the A side, although we're going to get deeper into the A side stuff and the 50-50 stuff, how the hell can the B side be demanding parity with the A side? It don't make no damn logical sense, my friend. We're talking about logic over emotion. I'm being logical. I'm being logical. How is the B side demanding parity with the A side? But then it gets deeper. The plot thickens. No problemo. The plot thickens because who was the first guy we heard coming out repeatedly with 50-50 or no fight? And we're going to get into this further into this piece, which I'm sharing with you here on the Raphie Dawkins Combat Radio. Wilder Ruiz Saga. Who is lying? Tonight, we aim to reveal the truth. Unboxing Talk with Raphie. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that share button as we continue on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. So, Bomb Squad. Hell no. Hell no. To the no. Mr. Coates up in the building. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that share button. So Deontay Wilder is an author of this situation where we got B sides demanding parity with the A side. Mandreas the Punch Ruiz. You got big off that AJ Monai. The first fight, the second fight, you went and bought a whole load of exotic cars, a mansion, which looked very nice. Congratulations for that. But it seems like your father, it appears, may have steered you in the right direction. Hopefully you're a partner in his building firm, and hopefully he's not robbing you, as has been alleged by Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. But let us continue.
And I'm hearing he's stalling because he got a side.
Hold on. Let me get the mic placement right. Dang. I mute myself because the thing's squeaky. Okay. Oh, there's another allegation of PEDs. So that's 4. PEDs. Is Ruiz on them? Okay, that's 4. Let's get into it.
I'll continue to do it, but I don't have to do it no more. Can he really say the same? From the outside looking in and what I'm hearing, I don't think so. And I'm hearing he's stalling because he got to cycle his blood out.
OMG.
Wife said that. You feel me? He's stalling because he got to cycle his blood out. The wife said that. You feel me?
Oh, wait. Is he saying that his wife is the source of that information?
Wilder is saying that Ruiz's ex-wife or ex-girlfriend is the source of that information.
Yeah, it's not a good look.
It's not a good look. It's not a good source. Is it a good source, though?
I mean, who would know better than the person that you share your bed with? Okay, I think it's a damn good source. Me personally.
How do you know they didn't have separate bedrooms?
Well, I'm making assumptions here, but I would figure, if the guy if this is his wife, I don't know how long they were married, but I'm going to assume they were married for at least 2-3 years.
They were together for a few years. They weren't married. They were together for a few years. They got a couple of kids. Well, they must have been together for at least 5-6 years because they got a couple of kids together.
But then, so if that's the case, and this information is coming from his wife of 5-6 years, then yeah, that's a pretty a good source in my mind.
OMG. Accusations of PED use.
And let's not forget he was, down with the Reynoso gym for a minute. And we all know what was going on there.
That is indeed true. It's free to Wilder fans, the streamers. Wilder is garbage to watch. He can't box a lick. OMG, Wizard sleeves up in the building. That's a fair point of view. Some people say it's garbage to watch. Garbage, I tell you, garbage. Like the prescription the fight doctor's writing. Deontay Wilder versus Dillian Whyte. How many times has Deontay Wilder turned that fight down? He even sent him a text. I'll keep you waiting for 2 years. And he did. Get him waiting for longer than that. Deontay Wilder don't want none of Dillian Whyte. Running scared, I tell you. Scared. Shook. Shook ones. Shook. Scared to look. He quite literally got big off the AJ money. Let's continue.
Many other people have said that too. So, who to trust at the front? I don't think so. And I'm hearing he's stalling because he got to cycle his blood out. The wife said that. You feel me? Many other people have said that too. So, who to trust at the end of the day? You know what I mean? But it's a lot of he say, she say. Only thing that I want to say is sign the fucking contract and let's get this fight done there.
OMG. No mention of the words there. Sign the effing contract. Let's get this damn thing done. So, point 4, PEDs.
Oh, if you feel a certain type of way, you feel like you're gonna beat me, whatever, sign the contract. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about what you're gonna make and all this, and if I'm getting this and getting that. Don't worry.
Oh no, you didn't. Oh no, you didn't. Let me just rewind that for people in case people are confused now. People are going cross-eyed. People are saying, what did he just say? What did he just say?
You feel like you're gonna beat me, whatever, sign the contract. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about what you're gonna make and all this, and if I'm getting this and getting that. Don't worry about that, because y'all don't know nothing about what's going on with me. Just prepare for it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Just let's prepare for this great fight, and let's get it on. Let's get the fans what they want to see, because at the end of the day, when I win this, I will go on to fight for the title. The thing that I want to say is, many other people have said, you know what I mean? But it's a lot of he say, she say. Only thing that I want to say is sign the fucking contract and let's get this fight done there. If you feel a certain type of way, you feel like you're going to beat me, whatever, sign the contract. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about what you're going to make and all this, and if I'm getting this and getting that. Don't worry about that, because y'all don't know nothing about what's going on with me.
Oh, no, you did not.
So
Oh no, you did not. No, I know you're gonna try and deflect the fight, doctor. I know what your strategy is here. I know you're gonna try and move the conversation off this very crucial point. We can't do that. We're not doing that.
Now, actually, I want to address the point.
Oh, okay. Well, let me just set the table. Let me just set the table and make sure there's some lemon water there too available for those who need it. Nice, fresh, sparkling lemon water. This cat go by the name of the Bronze Bomber, just had the audacity to tell Andreas the Ponce Ruiz that don't watch what I'm making. Don't worry about what I'm making. This is a very pivotal moment, because this cat here, go by the name of the Bronze Bomber, was the one who walked away from his biggest payday because the heads of the zone would not tell him how much Anthony Joshua was going to be making against him in their proposed 2 fights. He got his career high payday, still the biggest money he's ever got. And he walked away because when he asked how much Joshua was going to be making, I told him to mind his own damn business and stop watching Joshua's pockets. And he has the audacity to turn around and tell Andreas the Punch Ruiz to not do the same thing that he did against Joshua. OMG. OMG. The fight doctor.
So the two situations are 180 degrees of each other because, well, so first and foremost, that was probably a bad career move on the part of Deontay Wilder to having walked away from a fight with Anthony Joshua that was very lucrative and very winnable.
His biggest payday, it would have been his biggest payday even to this day.
Yeah, so that was a bad career move. And had he gone that route, his career I think would have turned out different than what it ultimately did. Probably still would have lost at some point to
Joshua.
No.
Fury.
Yeah, Wilder was going to knock Joshua out. There's no question. Then and there's no question.
So why did he walk away from what would have been his career high payday to this day?
I can't answer that question. Stupidity, maybe ego, which is a word that's synonymous with stupidity. So I don't know.
Is it possible it could have been fear?
No. Please stop. No, sir.
It's not possible.
Nobody is afraid.
It's not possible.
Nobody is afraid of China Chin Anthony Joshua.
It's not possible that Deontay Wilder walked away from Anthony Joshua out of fear.
Nobody is afraid of Mr. China Chin Anthony Joshua.
Be aware this is before the Ruiz debacle. Be aware.
I'm sorry, but Klitschko exposed that China Chin.
Was afraid. He was very afraid.
We all saw the Klitschko fight, didn't we? A 40-year-old Klitschko put Joshua down and nearly out.
I tell you a fight we didn't see. We didn't see Deontay Wilder against either of the Klitschkos. He could have fought them both. But that's beside the point. It's the question here. It's the fear or the gonads. It's the fear or the gonads. Because if he didn't fear him, then you're saying he didn't have the gonads to do it. Then it's the fear or the gonads.
That's not. No, sir. You're putting
the fear or the gonads.
No, sir.
There's a problem.
No, I agree. There's a problem.
There's a problem.
I agree. There is a problem. But fear of Anthony.
If it ain't one, it's the other. It's either the fear or the gonads.
Sir. All right. First and foremost, no. No, sir. All right.
It's the fear or the gonads.
All right. We need to have some parliamentary procedure here, okay? First and foremost, there is a problem. I will concede. However, fear of Anthony Joshua is not one of them. I promise you.
Oh, it definitely was at the time.
Nobody was afraid of Mr. China Chin. No, sir. Okay? No.
Shook.
Okay? Nobody was afraid of Mr. China Chin.
Sure.
Right? Now, it was probably a combination of ego and stupidity. And maybe he thought that he could listen, I think that Deontay Wilder then understood that he was not in terms of his marketability, he was not on par with Anthony Joshua. Now that's true then, and is true now. He's not as marketable as Anthony Joshua. He's just not as big of a draw. He doesn't make as much money. All right. And I guess he figured in his mind that perhaps if he went and cleaned up a little bit on this side of the pond, and maybe perhaps took out some names from the UK, then he could meet Anthony Joshua on more equal footing in terms of his marketability.
He wouldn't come to the UK. He turned down Joshua, and he turned down his mandatory Dillian White. He wouldn't come to the UK. To this day, he's only come to the UK to fight Audley Harrison. When Audley Harrison's career was on the wane, that might have been Audley Harrison's last fight. That's the only time Deontay Wilder came to the UK. So what I ask you, is it the fear or the gonads?
Nobody is afraid of China Chin Anthony Joshua, I assure you. So why that fight? Why Deontay Wilder walked away from that fight? I have no idea. I don't know. I can't.
Deontay Wilder ain't left America.
But what I can say is this: is that I think, looking back, in hindsight is 2020, that was a bad career move. All right, but let's fast forward to today, and let's get back on topic here. We're talking about Deontay Wilder and Pillsbury Doughboy. So let's get back on topic. Right? And look,
get back to your safe ground. Okay, I hear you. I can read code too. Code too.
At the end of the day, it's about options. And from my read of the situation is this: Wilder has options. Pillsbury Doughboy not so much. So 65-35 would be fair. 60-40 would be fair. Let's see the fight. Now, look, this is if I'm not mistaken, this is a WBC eliminator, isn't it?
Yeah, but they're not fighting on that basis, though. I don't believe. I think they're fighting. I think that because they ignored that. I think they're fighting on the basis of Wilder wanting Ruiz's scalp. He wants his scalp, so they're fighting on that basis. So if the WBC butt in and say, okay, we're going to go through our procedure, what is their procedure? Because according to their rules, they can change their procedure anytime. So, I mean, in a sense, their rules say that they don't have no rules.
Right. But, I mean, Wilder is still ranked number 1 in the WBC, right?
Yes.
Right. Yeah,
and Ruiz number 2, perhaps, yeah?
Yeah.
So
if the WBC were to order an eliminator, then logically it would be between Wilder and Ruiz. So then how would the money get split?
The mandatory splits for both of them would be fighting for eliminator. I don't know. I'm not going to hazard a guess. at that. But like I said, the WBC rules, in their rules, it says that we can break our rules. So I don't know what that figure is. And I don't think the WBC would make that call either. Because dealing with
I think the key to understanding what Ruiz's true worth is in this fight, I think it rests with the WBC and how, if Wilder wanted to enforce a mandatory, then first he would need to become the mandatory. And in order to do that, he has to fight in an eliminator.
Yeah.
I don't believe the fight with, what's his name? His last fight was an eliminator.
Hilarious. No, this is a fight to establish who would be the mandatory.
Right. So if Wilder, if his angle is to become mandatory to force a fight with the WBC champion, then in that sense, I guess he would need Ruiz.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to pull up the WBC's rules and regulations, but that document is so convoluted.
Yeah, it'll be convoluted. It'll be terribly convoluted. If anybody out there wants to pull up the WBC rules.
Because I've looked at that document before, and I felt that I genuinely felt more stupid after I read that document than before.
Yeah, I feel stupid after listening to what's his name? Mauricio Suleiman.
Silly man.
No, Silly man. Mauricio Silly man. Yes. Yes. Uncle Burnt apostrophe got thick skin. He knows when the Raphie goes in. It's just verbal sparring, my friend. It's just verbal sparring. He knows that. He knows that. Checking some old lives, doing a classic list. Mr. Pennant, I will get to your points. Have no fear, but don't be afraid every once in a while to just put some color in the chat. So make one of your questions a colorful one, just like the Uncle Burnt apostrophe did. It only costs you a matter of 99 pence. You can do it for as little as 99 pence to show some appreciation for the fare that we deliver to you on a very consistent basis for over the last 5 years or so. So don't be afraid to make the chat litty. Cost as little as 99p, but fear not. Fear not. We're having a very affordable membership scheme. Membership scheme for those who wish to show their appreciation. I'll either do that or a very inexpensive Patreon, one or the other. I've made my mind up here. I still need to read the small print of both options. So, true to word. Yes. I think Uncle Burnt apostrophe is saying the resumption of verbal spars between the Raphie and the fight doctor worth price of admission alone. You know that. Where else do you get that? Where else on the interwebs can you get the Raphie versus the fight doctor, the vegan warrior? Where else do you get that? Exactly. Come on now. It's only here at the RDCR. Come on now. Okay, so Wilder, what was this? What point was that? That was 5. Wilder, don't watch my pockets. Wilder says, don't watch my pockets. But yeah, he spent the better part of the last 5 years watching Anthony Joshua's pockets. Don't watch my pockets. How interesting. He was the one that started this pocket watching thing in recent times. And for him to come out with such a statement, how ironic. Okay. But as we move,
me, just prepare for it. Let's get it. Just let's prepare for this great fight, and let's get it on. Let's give the fans what they want to see, because at the end of the day, when I win this, I will go on to fight for the title. So this is the big thing that's dealing with this situation. Not what we're gonna make, but what's gonna happen after the winner, wins.
And that's something that I think a lot of people have missed. A lot of people have missed. Deontay Wilder just said, when I win this, I will go on to fight for the title. So maybe this is the final eliminator itself. It's not a fight to be mandatory. Maybe this is the final eliminator. So who wins this goes on to fight for the title. Yes. OMG. Let us move on.
So before we move on, just correct me if I'm wrong, but the last WBC mandatory title fight was Fury and Dillian White, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And so that fight was it's been about a year.
Yeah.
All right. So.
But they're not very insistent to the WBC. Wilder was fighting a mandatory like every 2 years or so.
Right.
So they can go up to 2 years easily without fighting a mandatory. And remember, they declined to make Fury's next fight a mandatory. They declined to call a mandatory. I guess because of this situation was outstanding. Maybe. Yeah, okay, it makes sense now. Because if this situation's outstanding, then...
So I would expect that if this fight happens, the winner would be named mandatory.
If this fight happens, the winner. Yeah. That's what I expect. That's what I expect.
And so maybe that's what Ruiz understands and why he's sort of standing on this whole idea of 50-50.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not reading the WBC crap either. Yeah, it's gonna kill off some brain cells for no good reason. Okay, let us continue on. Listening to the words of Deontay Wilder in this interview with this Mexican chap. I don't know his name, never seen him before. Anyway, let's go.
I mean, it's all about going to get the titles, and that's what I'm all about. So he can price himself out. He can allow his fathers or whoever else to price himself out. But I guarantee you, after this, he's gonna be on the shelf, and y'all ain't gonna hear any Ruiz ever again. And we'll see what happens. That's
okay. So after this, we're not gonna hear from You're not gonna hear from Ruiz again. Who does he fight? He ain't no draw. He's not a draw. He's fighting what? Once a year now? Once every 16 months now? Talking about Ruiz. He's 33. Ain't getting no younger. Okay? The heavyweights, they tend to last longer than the lighter weights. Lighter weights, they seem to function on higher revs. They don't last as long as the heavyweights. But even so, Ruiz ain't getting any younger. And his style, I don't think his style is going to age particularly well. So time is of the essence. But I don't know, these boxers, you look at your Jamel and your Jamal Charlo, one out of the ring for 18 months, one out of the ring. It's going to be 2.5 years. I mean, yeah, one out of the ring for a year and a half. The other one out of the ring, it's going to be 2.5 years before he gets in there with Canelo. It's going to have been out of the ring for 2.5 years. I don't understand it. These guys don't seem to understand that they're squandering the sporting life is a short one. And for a man to squander a year, 2 years, 2.5 years. Look at Gary Russell Jr. He was fighting once a year. One time a year. That's such a far cry from the fighters of old. Admittedly, they were getting paid less, so they had to fight more. But I mean, how are you going to practice your craft without practicing your craft?
How do you stay sharp without... You have to keep your tool sharp, and you do that by using it.
Exactly.
And if you're not using your tool, it would get dull.
Exactly. It's crazy to me. It's like I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. But who for? Yeah, it's gonna be problems for him. I'm talking about Ruiz. Negotiate up to 35%, people. I don't know if I said what I thought was a fair percentage split. Ruiz should be happy with 35% against Wilder, who has the greater economic value. It's not like Wilder's a blockbuster seller, because he certainly is. He's not. He certainly is not, but he's sure as hell a bigger seller than Andreas the Ponce Ruiz. Don't take my word for it. Look at the math. Do the figures, do the sums, do the numbers. If he's ever sold big, it's because of the other guy. When is he sold big? When it wasn't against Anthony Joshua. He has not. Okay, let us continue on. Who for Ruiz?
my prediction and my story, and I'm sticking with it.
Man, I feel like that's nothing more needs to be said about it. Hopefully we get it. It's an amazing fight at heavyweight. This year has been incredible for boxing.
Yes.
Benavidez Plant, Tank versus Ryan.
Okay, so that's it as far as the interview is concerned. Who next? Who does Ruiz have? There's a poll up in the chat, folks. Participate in the poll. I'm going to close it down in a few minutes. What should be the split? 30-70, 35-65, 40-60, or 50-50. And when I say what should the split be, I mean on a logical basis, how you decide splits, not emotional, logical. Who is the biggest seller? That's the A side. He gets the biggest split. And de facto, the other guy is the lesser draw. But if he's a significantly lesser draw, then the split's lower. If he is only marginally a lesser draw, then his split's higher. So 30-70 to me is too low. 35-65, that's about fair. 40-60, 40 for Ruiz, of course. Then yeah, I don't think he could argue with that. But Ruiz is saying 50-50 or no fight. I think that's just blatantly ridiculous. Ridiculous. Okay, so what's going on? Have you found anything? Have you found anything there, the fight doctor?
So I'm looking at the rankings here. So I'm looking at the BoxRec rankings and I'm looking at the WBC rankings.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking and I'm just trying to figure out, like, where could Andrew Ruiz go? Like, who could he fight? Like, realistically, who could he fight? So I'm looking at the BoxRec rankings right now. So Fury is 1, Alexander Usyk 2, Joshua 3, Andrew Ruiz number 4, according to BoxRec.
Okay.
Dillian White 5, Daniel Dubois 6, Deontay Wilder 7, Luis Ortiz 8, Zhilei Zhang is 9, and Joe Joyce is 10.
Yeah.
So out of those 10 names, right, where could Andrew Ruiz go? So Fury is out.
Yeah.
Usyk is out.
Yeah.
Joshua is out.
Yeah.
Dillian White is out.
Yeah.
Daniel Dubois is definitely out because he's fighting Usyk.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to fight Deontay Wilder because he doesn't like the money. So Wilder is out.
Yeah.
Luis Ortiz is out because you already beat the guy.
Yeah.
And Luis Ortiz is probably about to retire. So
yeah.
Ortiz is out. Zhang is out because he's fighting the guy below him in Joe Joyce.
Yeah.
So out of the 10 best heavyweights, according to BoxRec, the only guy that you could reasonably fight is Deontay Wilder. I mean, like, that's the only fight that can be made where there's like, there's no promotional issues. This is no, entanglements.
Yeah.
No red tape. Easy fight to make. So, Andrew Ruiz, where do you go other than Deontay Wilder? Where do you go? I mean, you can fight Joseph Parker again. Nobody cares. You can fight number 12, Derek Chisora. Nobody cares.
Hold on, that's a good fight though. That rematch with Parker. That's a nice fight for him. He should try for that fight if he's confident.
Yeah, but nobody cares.
That's true. No, but it'd be a good fight, though. It'd be a good. But where would it take? It'd have to take place in the UK or Australia, and there ain't gonna be no money in that. Listen, what I predict to you that as far as money's concerned, the only money fights out there for Ruiz right about now is Wilder.
Yes,
that's the only.
That's the only fight he can make where the payday is going to be reasonable. Because everything else that's doable. So there's Frank Sanchez at number 14.
That's not a money fight.
It's an easy fight to make though.
Easy fight to make, but it's not a money fight. And he only wants money fights.
It's not a money fight, and you probably lose.
Yeah, you're probably gonna lose that one.
So where do you go, Mr. Ruiz? Look, either way, the only two names I see in the top 15, right? Because you got at 15, you got Martin Bacole, and that's not a fight that's easy to make if you're Andrew Ruiz. Yeah. And there's no money in it. Yeah. So out of the top 15 names, according to BoxRec, the only two names that Andy Ruiz could fight is Deontay Wilder or Frank Sanchez. Either way you lose, the only question is how much money do you want to make losing?
Yeah. Yeah. He turned down more money from Dillian White than he'll probably get fighting Wilder.
Yeah.
Or the same ballpark. It was 4 or 5 million. That's what it looks like his proposed fee will be. About 4 or 5 million.
Yeah, he should take the Wilder fight. Take the Wilder fight. Look, if you're getting knocked out by Wilder, guess what? You can still move on with your career because everyone outside of Tyson Fury gets knocked out by Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
But if you lose to Frank Sanchez, dude, it's over. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
This dude, Frank Sanchez, makes his name off of beating you.
Yeah.
And if you lose to Frank Sanchez, a Cuban nonetheless, nobody will let you live that down. And nobody's going to forget. And after you lose to Frank Sanchez, nobody will care about you. That's
true, That's true. He's right, He's right. What's this here? If I make you an offer that you like, then find out I'm making millions. That's a personal problem. What do you mean millions? Maybe he's making millions too. You mean then find out you're making significantly more. Okay, that's a personal problem. The only reason you're upset is because you're in my business. Damn. Mr. Coates writing poetry now. Basically what you're saying is that Wilder was wrong to be concerned with what AJ was making. And now he turns around saying that Ruiz is wrong for being concerned about how much he's making. What a day when the tables will turn. What a day when the tables will turn. OMG. Keeps on happening with Wilder. Keeps on flipping the script. Popcorn in the kettle black. Adari. What happened to Logic? It's all up in here. Raphie Dawkins, Logical Combat Radio. Logical boxing talk with Raphie. That's what it's about. That's what I'm talking about. What about Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk? Anthony, what about Tyson Fury? Well, that should be in December, but will Tyson take it? He'll run a mile, mate. Sorry, I called him Tyson. I meant Luke. He'll run a mile from the guy he describes as a gappy-toothed rabbit. What about Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder? Well, that's supposed to be in December. Will it happen? It looks like both parties want it to happen. So, hey, so long as Deontay Wilder doesn't start asking about, well, how much Anthony Joshua going to make? So long as he keeps his note out of Joshua's pockets, he'll be okay. Maybe he's learned from his last mistake. Hopefully. Keep your nose out of Joshua's pocket. It's going to hurt your feelings. Okay. What about Dillian White versus Andreas the Punch Ruiz on the same card? Well, he's turned that fight down numerous of times and skill challenge in Saudi Arabia after seeing Andreas the Punch Ruiz the last time. Remember, that second fight was in Saudi Arabia. The Arabs have not forgot what kind of shape Andy Ruiz turned up in. Yeah, bloated, more bloated than the Michelin Man. He made the Pillsbury Doughboy look like he had a six-pack. How you like that? The Saudis don't want Ruiz. And I don't know if they want Dillian White. Dillian White did himself no favors with his last fight against Tyson Fury. So what have you done for me lately, culture, boxing right about now? And made a very, very poor showing. Very, very poor showing. Yep, I answered that one. Okay. Yeah, I mean, hey, if you're asking me how I feel about it, yeah, that would be cool in the gang, but the Saudis don't want it, and Ruiz has turned down the Dillian White so many times. So many times. Dwyer picked Andy Ruiz to defeat Deontay Wilder if the fight was to happen next. Well, I think he's very wrong. I've looked at the styles. I've looked at the styles of these two cats. And I visualized Ruiz winning. And when I visualized how Ruiz would win, I realized just recently that I was visualizing Ruiz fighting with the peekaboo style. Tyson Fury, Mike Tyson style, peekaboo style. But then I came to the realization that the punts don't fight with the peekaboo style. It just don't suit his girth. His body composition doesn't suit. His body composition doesn't suit. It doesn't lend itself to the peekaboo style, because every time he bends to the right or bends to the left, you got this whole midsection, just throwing your body off kilter, off balance. He ain't built for the peekaboo style. He don't do the peekaboo style. When I visualized him winning, utilizing the peekaboo style, a style he does not possess. He's more of a stand-up straight guy. Yeah, he bends a little bit to the left, bends a little bit to the right, but he's effectively, he shoots straight down the middle and he's there or thereabouts. You know what I'm saying? Come with clubbing.
Can I hop in for a second?
Yes.
If you look at some of the better practitioners of that style,
yeah,
Mike Tyson's or Floyd Patterson's, there's one thing that they have in common, which is they were incredibly fit and athletic.
Yeah.
And, that particular style, it sort of, requires that you be in tip-top, incredible shape, and that you have, tremendous athleticism.
Yes.
To pull it off.
Yes.
Again, Mike Tyson, Floyd Patterson, these are things that they had in abundance.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Ruiz is not that guy.
He's not that guy.
He just isn't.
He's not that guy.
And look, Andrew Ruiz can box.
Yes, he can.
He is very talented. And he does have good boxing ability. However, pulling off the peekaboo, no, sir. That's not. No, he's not that guy. No.
No, he ain't that guy. Dwyer plays the odds. To be fair, could be an odds play. Yeah, listen. I always say put your money on the underdog. I always say that. Your money on the underdog. I say that. I do think if you're talking from a betting perspective, then yeah, put your money on Ruiz because he's the underdog. I suspect he would be the underdog. WBC consistently inconsistent. What about Deontay Wilder versus Frank Sanchez? Yeah, Frank Sanchez would employ a similar style to the style he used against F.A. Ajagba. A lot of moving around and then bouncing on the ropes to get away from a punch and then using that to catapult you into into his own backhand hook, his own hook from the backhand. I think he'd employ that style, and he may have similar results. As a matter of fact, rat-tat-tat-tat. The fight, doctor. Who wins? Deontay Wilder versus Frank Sanchez.
Winnable fight for Sanchez, I think.
Yeah.
Listen, Wilder has problems with guys who know how to box. If you give him some movement, he starts to have problems. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. The problem that Sanchez would have is, not getting hit for 12 rounds.
Yeah.
But if Sanchez could pull it off, then I could definitely see him winning a decision.
Yeah. Yeah, he'd have to stay out of harm's way. He could walk into something for sure. So he'd have to stay out of harm's way, but he could potentially do that. And he could potentially take Wilder out in a similar way that he took out F.A. Jagba, springing off the ropes, counter-punching off the ropes. I think that's a 50-50 fight. I'd say that was a 50-50 fight. Not a 50-50 split, though. Let's get it correct. So what did the poll say? The poll is now closed. Let's have a look what it said. What should be the split? What is here? What is this? Wilder, 30-70 to what? 30-70 in favor of Wilder, 12%. 35-65. 30-70%. 37%. 50-50. 40. No, hold on. Ruiz, 50-50. 37%. And the winning split, as adjudged by the listeners, the RDCR comes in at 40-60, being the recommended split at 43%. So 40-60, 40 to Ruiz, 60 to Wilder is the recommended split. And I think that's generous but doable. Generous but doable. Me, myself, I favor 35-65. I think that's fair. But hey, I could go with 40-60. But Wilder might balk at that. Wilder might balk at 50-50. Well, 40-60. Ruiz balks at 30-70. Split it down the middle. 35-65. And I think everybody should be happy. Everybody should be happy. But anyway, in comes the man like Jimmy. How do you do, Jimmy? Talk to me.
I'm doing good, bro. Salute to Fight Doctor. Hope you guys are doing well. Me personally, bro, I feel like 50-50 is kind of fair, because if you look at both men's careers, the only big fights, real fights they've been in, as far as have generated good numbers and big paydays, are when both guys fought Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Outside of that, the fights they've been in have been pretty not relevant. When he came back against Helenius, the arena looked half empty at best, and they say the pay-per-view was a financial bloodbath from the numbers that were being reported. With Andy Ruiz, I'm not saying he's a big ticket seller, but when he fought Luis Ortiz, his crowd was okay as well. I don't really think Deontay Wilder is that much of a bigger superstar, because nothing about when it's just him by himself, when he's forced to draw in big crowds, he never does though. Even when he was fighting in Alabama, he was struggling to sell 5,000 tickets. Outside of the big events he's had with Tyson Fury. The same with Andy Ruiz. He's had two big fights, but both of them were with Anthony Joshua. When they're forced to carry the event as the A side, both guys draw similar crowds and similar numbers on pay-per-view. I think both guys are former champions. Both guys are ranked in the top 10, and both guys are the top 2 American heavyweights right now. So I think 50-50 is a fair split, because they need each other for a big event. Unless Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua decide to give them a big payday. Wilder and Ruiz really aren't big superstars by themselves, because if they were, they'd be fighting more often. That's why the PBC didn't want to make the fight a couple of months ago, because of the financial pressure. Both guys wanted money they couldn't generate. Me personally, I think 50-50 is fair, because I feel like both guys kind of need each other to put on a big fight, make real money. I think 70-30 is just so disrespectful, because I don't think Deontay Wilder realizes that his last event, no one really showed up and no one really bought the pay-per-view. So I don't know what kind of financial...
77,000 bought the Wilder pay-per-view, Wilder Hellenius, and 65 bought Ruiz Sanchez. Ruiz versus Ortiz.
Yeah, I mean, that's for me, bro. It's kind of similar numbers. Like, if Andy Ruiz and Deontay Wilder fought each other, I'm pretty confident that fight would probably do over 300,000 pay-per-views, and I think they'd probably begin a good live gate in LA or New York or even Vegas. So I think 50-50, maybe 55-45, leaning towards Wilder, but 70-30, I mean, I feel like that's just Deontay Wilder being Deontay Wilder, pricing himself out of fights, asking for things he doesn't deserve, and just probably fighting another tomato can until he cashes out in Saudi against Joshua.
So who's the A side out of Wilder and Ruiz?
I don't think there is an A side, because I don't think either of them can put on a big event by themselves. To be honest, I think.
Okay, I'm going to let you debate this point with the fight doctor. Fight doctor, come in.
No, so shout out to Jimmy. He actually makes some good points. Now, I would disagree in that I do think that Wilder is clearly the A side, only because he's sort of been at the top longer. However, Ruiz does have the one ace in the hole, which is his single biggest win is the knockout of Anthony Joshua, which is better than any single win on Wilder's resume. So he does have that ace in the hole. But I think in terms of which guy has more options, I think Wilder just has more options, and I think that because he's been around longer, he's the more exciting fighter. I think he probably is a bigger draw. Not to say a massively bigger draw, but a bigger draw nonetheless. And I think, where else is Ruiz going to go? I mean, so Wilder brought up that point in his interview that, this guy, if he doesn't take the Wilder fight, then where Frank Sanchez, right? Where do you go? Even in the situation, so let's just say for argument's sake that these guys, in terms of their marketability, are close.
Yeah.
Like, let's say 55-45 close. We still have to look at who has more options. When we start asking that question, Deontay Wilder he has options, right? I mean, he can make a deal with the Saudis.
Yeah.
Where does Andy Ruiz go? I mean, he doesn't have that same option.
Jimmy, where does Andy Ruiz go? Who's got the more options?
See, me personally, I think the easiest way to make this fight is what they should have done originally. This was ordered as a WBC final eliminator, and what they should do is let it go to purse bids in the open market. And the way the WBC calculates the purses is they look at your last 3 purses or your last 5 purses, and they come to like an average purse, and then they kind of compare the two, and then they kind of
Deontay Wilder's the A side then.
It depends, bro. I don't know how much he made.
We'll look at the last. Robert Hellenius, Tyson Fury 2, Tyson Fury 3, Luis Ortiz 4, Dominic Breazeal 5. So he's fought Tyson Fury 2 times. And remember, Showtime overpaid for Dominic Breazeal because that was around the time of the DAZN offer. So he leveraged Team Wilder leveraged that against Showtime. Fox. And then Fox never had him back again because they had to overpay for him, and they talked about loyalty. He took the overpayment and then he waltzed off. So, but then we established. That's how the WBC established the A side, and it's a good way of doing it because we have Tyson Fury 2 times and an overpayment for the Dominic Brazil fight. So that shows that Deontay Wilder, according to those matrix, is the overwhelming A side. Overwhelming.
It was the Luis. No, didn't he fight Luis Ortiz?
Hold on a second. I'm going to talk to Andy Ruiz though. And because the two Joshua fights will be in there as well. So I may have to eat my words. I may have to eat my words.
Yeah, because I was thinking, didn't he get paid like a boatload of money for the rematch with Anthony in Saudi? Yeah, so he made a ton of money there. So I mean, maybe slightly towards Wilder just to make the fight happen, but when you start talking about 70-30, I mean, one guy's making more than double, and that's just never going to happen, though. I mean, realistically speaking, a guy like Andy Ruiz.
My recommendation was 35-65, but let's look at the last 5 fights of Andy Ruiz. Okay, Luis Ortiz, 1. Chris Arreola, 2. Anthony Joshua, 3. Anthony Joshua, 4. Alexander Dimitrichenko. Okay, so Andy Ruiz Andy Ruiz got around 5 million for the first fight. He took it at short notice. 5 million, and then he got something like 9 to 10 million for the second fight. So that's what 15 mil. He got 15 mil. Wilder for the second and third fight would have got at least in the region of 20 mil a piece. So Wilder still overwhelmingly by those matrix, the A side. And furthermore, where does to furthermore decide who the A side is? Who has the greater options?
Definitely Deontay Wilder. 100%, bro.
There we go.
Yeah,
so it's very clear who the A side is. We use those matrix logic. It's very clear who the A side is. That's what I'm saying to you, Jimmy.
Yeah, I think 60-40 sounds fair. I mean 35%, bro.
No, I mean to be clear. I mean we got the poll up. Who is the A side? That's what we're trying to establish here. Who's the A side?
Yeah, I think historically Wilder's been a bigger, earner. But it's like I said, bro, when you can't even sell 7,000 tickets in your last fight,
Jimmy, don't get it confused. We're not saying that the A side is a great seller or has great market value. We're just saying who is the A side out of these two cats here.
Okay. Do you know who had a bigger gate as far as their last fights? Wilder, Helenius, and Ruiz versus Ortiz.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. But we know the pay-per-views. 77 for Wilder, 65 for Ruiz. And remember, Ruiz is fighting Ortiz. You know, the Mexican versus the Cuban. It was a Latino affair. The Latinos spend on their fighters, the fighters they love, and they didn't spend on this one.
Yeah. I thought Helenius was on some good momentum when he knocked out the Polish guy. Yeah, he knocked him out twice.
Yeah.
I thought he was on good form. Yeah, you know what it is, bro? I don't think Deontay Wilder needs to fight Andy Ruiz because if you've got this mega fight with Anthony Joshua, that's why I don't think any of it's real. I don't think the offer was real because if you've got a $50 million payday or $40 million payday waiting for Anthony Joshua in December, why would you take a risky fight like Andy Ruiz, a guy who's a very quick, explosive counterpuncher on the front foot, who's got an engine, a chin?
Do you think who do you think wins? Do you think Ruiz beats Wilder? I think you do. I think you do, Jimmy. I think you do. I think you fancy Ruiz to beat Wilder.
The only is, bro, I've never really rated Deontay Wilder as a fighter. I just keep thinking, like, for me, it's almost 50-50 because I feel like Deontay's got a lot of advantages. He's taller, he's more athletic, and Anthony Joshua kind of set a blueprint on how to outbox Andy Ruiz in the rematch.
Yeah.
Just keep it long and move around. So he's a tall guy who's quite athletic and he could crack. But I just feel like if Andy Ruiz gets on the inside with Deontay Wilder, I think the fight is effectively over because Deontay doesn't have a good inside game and he doesn't have a good chin either. So I feel like when he gets sloppy and he throws those big overhand rights, if Ruiz just kind of slips and counters, Wilder could get seriously hurt in that fight, I think. For me, bro, it's 50-50. I think it's an even fight because I've never seen, outside of Tyson Fury, I've never seen Deontay Wilder fight anyone as good as Andy Ruiz. The guy who's got, quick hands, explosive counter-punching skills, a chin, a heart, a gas tank. I mean, a lot of people thought this guy beat Joseph Parker. His only loss really was to AJ in the rematch, right? And he's got a win over AJ. So I think Andy Ruiz is a really underrated fighter. And
so can I take issue with that last point you made, Jimmy?
Go ahead, mate.
I think Luis Ortiz fits the description. The Luis Ortiz that Wilder met in the first fight, I think would have beaten the best version of Andy Ruiz. I think he fits the description of a guy who knows who can box, who can punch. His legs were still under him at that point. He was actually putting it on Wilder in that fight. And I think he was up on the cards before he got knocked out.
Yep. Yeah, but I don't think Luis Ortiz is a 12-round fighter, to be honest, at this stage of his career. Even in the first fight,
Luis Ortiz.
The guy. Yeah, because this is the same guy that the New York Commission almost canceled the fight because the guy's blood pressure was out of control. I mean, no disrespect to Luis Ortiz, but he's an older gentleman and he's just not built for a 12-round fight. That's why in both fights he was winning easily. But after 6 rounds, he kind of fades and Deontay takes over. He was the younger guy, the bigger guy. He takes over and he blasts him out. But I think a guy like Andy, who's got a better chin, a better gas tank, and I don't think Deontay Wilder is as good as he was. The first Deontay that fought Ruiz was a young, fiery guy. This guy has been through a lot of tough fights and really bad beatings from Tyson Fury. He's 37. I don't think he's as fast as he used to be. And his chin, really, I'm not sure how good that is anymore. So, but same with Andy Ruiz. He's been very inactive lately. And he really hasn't looked great since the AJ loss. So I think it's a good crossroads fight, but I just don't think it'll happen because Wilder's just got such a mega payday waiting for him. Does he really want to risk it? Even if he is a favorite, it's still a very dangerous fight for him,
Well, here's the thing. Here's why it's not as dangerous as I think it seems. Wilder, when I first, like I said before, when I first visualized this fight, I thought that Ruiz would win. But then on further inspection and looking at their styles more closely, I saw that Ruiz was primarily a stand-up fighter, stands up straight. He's not a peekaboo guy. That's how I visualized him winning. A peekaboo fighter, a la Mike Tyson. Peekaboo, move your head to the side, hook off the movement. I thought if Ruiz had that style, I would back him to win. But he don't got that style. He's primarily a straight up, stand up straight kind of guy. He does move to the side a little bit. He does take his head off the center line a little bit every now and then. But oftentimes, boom, his head is right there for you. And if you want to be played safe, you don't want to go with a straight shot, go with a hook. Go with some straights, mix in the hooks, you will hit him. He's there to be hit. The thing is like he's a snapping turtle. So after you hit him, he's going to come back with a 2-punch, 3-punch flurry. Could be a heavy flurry as well. But the point is, if you jab right, if you use your 1-2 and move, step off. If you use your 1-2 and step off, you can pace that guy. Paste him. You can give that Andy Ruiz a good pasting. 1-2, step off. 1-2, step off. Left, step off. That's an angle. And you got him. So Deontay Wilder beats him just based on style.
Do you know what it is, Raf? I'd agree with you, bro. If it was a Wilder from a couple of years ago, but I think Andy Ruiz's chin is just as good as Tyson Fury's, and I think 12 rounds is a very long time for Andy not to get to Wilder, because Deontay Wilder.
Chris Arreola dropped Andreas the Punch Ruiz.
Yep, but I think the problem in that fight.
I put it to you that Ruiz's chin might not be what you think it is right about now, 2023.
I think the problem in the Arreola fight is he lost so much weight and then he gained it back again. So do you remember in the Luis Ortiz, he took some massive shots in that fight and he held up really well. I think the mistake he made in the Arreola fight is he lost something like 5 or 7 stone in one training camp and he completely crashed the weight. That's why his punch resistance looked terrible.
Maybe 2 or 3 stone. I don't know about 5 or 7. Maybe 2 or 3.
Oh, I think he was saying something like 70 pounds they lost in weight.
70 pounds is a lot of weight. Yeah. That's like about 5 stone. That's a lot of weight.
Yeah, I think he lost way too much weight. But I think, like me personally, bro, I've seen Deontay Wilder get outboxed by guys like Gerald Washington, Artur Spilka, guys I kind of consider like C-level. And I think Andy Ruiz technically is a lot better than those guys on the front court, in the center of the ring. I think he knows how to cut the ring off a lot better than guys like, Gerald Washington is kind of like a football player, and Artur Spilka is a blown-up cruiserweight. And if those guys can outbox Deontay and get to him and hurt him, especially Eric Molina. Eric Molina had Deontay Wilder on jelly legs. A guy like, I think, Ruiz, a guy who hits harder, who's more skilled as a counter puncher. I think if he clips Wilder would get hurt. Bro, I think this will be like kind of like a war, to be honest. I think this fight will be very action-packed.
Well, that's an interesting point you make there. Very interesting point. Very interesting point. Okay, so that is it. We have come to stick around. We've come to the end of the show. I think we've given you what we set out to give you. Jimmy's jumped off, so those were his final words. We still got the fight doctor. We've come to the end of the show. Hold on a second, un momento. We've come to the end of the show, and hold on. Let me get to this. Jimmy on the same page as me. I think it's smoke and mirrors. Same as Josh. Who's Josh W? Josh versus White, to be real. If on cards, on closer examination, maybe 60-40 Deontay to get it made. Okay, well, you're making more sense now, Uncle Burnt Apostrophe. You're making more sense now because you acknowledge that Deontay Wilder is the A side in this mix. So that's important because he is. 60-40, yeah, that's the high end of the range. Me, I have it 35-65. I think that it should be makeable at that, but they might have to, Wilder side might have to push it to 60-40. I don't know if Wilder's going to be happy with that, but hey, he was the one who used to say 50-50 or no fight. Come see me, baby. So, yeah, 60-40, yeah, that would be the higher end of the range. But, you know, Raphie, we just preach logic over here. We preach logic. We finally got you cats to acknowledge who the A side is in the mix, who is the greater economic value, who has the bigger options. You can't just go emotionally, willy-nilly saying, yeah, 50-50. Yo, people fight for years to get some economic value. And once you got some economic value, you deserve a bigger split. You can't just have any Tom, Dick, and Harry walking up and say, I want what same as you got. You ain't done the same as I did. You wasn't champion for 5 years. You was champion for 5 months. Get the out of here. You know what I mean? You don't work. You working at your job. You working at your job and some cat comes out straight. You working at your job for 30 years and some cat straight out of school comes into your place of work and he's earning the same money as you. Same money as you. You say, nah, I've done this, I've done that. And I have a bigger value to the company than some kid coming straight out of school. Come on now, respect the tech. Respect the tech, the time served, the 5 years as a champion. Yeah, we know a lot of them cats were mediocre. Still, they finagled the thing. And nobody's ever going to be able to take away the fact that he's been a champion for 5 years. Yeah, those in the know, those who are a little bit above casual level, will know that a lot of those cats were mediocre. Know that a lot of those cats are mediocre. I'm just talking the thing, man. I demand logic. I demand it. I demand logic. I insist on it. But you know what? The question was Wilder, Ruiz saga. Wilder Ruiz saga, who's lying? Well, the father came out and said Deontay Wilder's lying. We revealed the truth. And Deontay Wilder said them cats are lying. And you know what? I think that Deontay Wilder, if he didn't mention a figure, he mentioned a percentage. If he didn't mention a percentage, then he made an indication. He made it, at the very least, he made an indication, a ballpark figure. And if he gave a ballpark figure, then he did give an indication. He gave an indication. And then the Ruiz side is saying it's a low ball. If you give an indication, can someone deduce from that it's a low ball? Yeah. Yeah. So is Wilder lying when he said he didn't mention a figure? Well, he may not have mentioned a figure, but he may have mentioned a ballpark indication from which they could deduce a percentage and a figure. So, and then Wilder's saying that so who's lying? Well, did Wilder lie? Did Wilder lie? If he didn't mention a figure, but he gave a ballpark indication, is that a lie? Well, that's for you to decide. OMG. Did Raphie just fudge it? Did Raphie just fudge the thing? Well, no, I think I gave you a marvelous closing argument. The Fight Doctor. What is your closing argument? Thank you. Thank you for joining us yet again and sharing your thoughts, observations, insights.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. Always enjoy chopping it up with you, sir.
Always good stuff.
So if I'm Deontay Wilder, right?
Yeah.
There are only two names that I would be focused on right now. Andy Ruiz is not one of them. If I were Deontay Wilder, it would be Usyk or Joshua. I would be focused on one of those two guys. So you have to ask a question. At this stage of Deontay Wilder's career, what does Andy Ruiz do for him other than provide a payday? I mean, you beat Andy Ruiz, and that gets you what exactly? A belt? No. Some type of notoriety? No. I mean, what does it honestly do for Deontay Wilder other than act as a stay busy fighting a payday?
Yeah.
So, I think just Deontay Wilder being in the position that he's in right now, I just think he has options, and maybe he can make more or almost as much money somewhere else. So if that's the case, if Andy Ruiz does not want to make it worth Deontay Wilder's while to get in the ring with him, then Deontay Wilder will simply go somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that'll be that. And Andy Ruiz can go fight Frank Sanchez for $500,000.
OMG. That was the Fight Doctor. Thank you very much, the Fight Doctor. Good enough to come share some of his time with us over here at the RDC Okay, so with that, we've come to the end of the show. Ran a bit longer than I had anticipated, but hey, people got opinions, people sharing their opinions. That's what we're about here at the Raphie Dawkins Combat Radio. And don't be afraid of a little verbal sparring when you come around here. Might have a little move around, a little bit of a body spar, you know what I'm saying? A little body spar on the cobbles. Don't hurt nobody. Okay, Ruiz was a 3-belt unified champion for 5 months. And beat the number one in the division. He beat the number one in the division who maybe shouldn't have been fighting. If the word is true that he was concussed in sparring, then he shouldn't have been in the ring. So you have to bear that in mind. Context is everything. Wilder had 1 belt, never beaten elite, and has a poor title run. Quality belt. Yeah, well, what kind of title run did Ruiz have? Ruiz didn't have a title run whatsoever. You know what I mean? No title run, title holder for 6 months. Come on, my friend. Let's get things in context and perspective. But I appreciate your point of view. I just disagree. That's cool. That's good too. We value independent thought. So appreciate it. Do you think the fight is going to happen next? Well, do I think the fight's going to happen full stop? How do we know if the fight's going to happen? The fight may not happen, much less next. But if it doesn't happen, I think it's Ruiz dropping the ball. Ruiz has dropped the ball if he doesn't take this fight. Where does he go? He's got nowhere to go. Andreas the Punch Ruiz has nowhere to go. He needs to take this fight. If he doesn't, he's a damn fool. As a matter of fact, I put this to you, Jimmy. If Andreas the Punch Ruiz fails to take this fight, even at 30%, he shot himself in the foot. I like them apples. I put it to you, Jimmy, because you jumped off a bit fast. I put it to you, Jimmy. If Andreas the Punch Ruiz doesn't take this fight, even at 30%, he has shot himself in the foot. Get back to me on that. What the hell's going on? Oh, the poll's still open. Oh, damn. Forgot about that. Almost forgot about that. I almost forgot about that. How about that? Have a kitty cat. Where's your cat? Okay, let's close the poll. Show the poll. Who is the A side? 20% of the voters said Ruiz. And an overwhelming landslide of 80% said Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. It's quite overwhelming. Great show. Have a good one. Says the Uncle Burnt apostrophe. We ain't quite done yet. You know what I mean? Okay. You're still here. I'm just closing down. You know that Raphie's, they say that the Raphie's outros are longer than some other people's whole damn show. That's just my outro. Do what man know. Georgie Porgy up in the building. How you doing, Georgie? I hope you're good, my friend. Hope you're good. Let's have a look. Have you covered that AJ took out the rematch clause with White? White needs to sign. I haven't covered that. I haven't talked about that because this show ran long. It ran long, far longer than I'd anticipated. I thought I'd bang it out in an hour and a half. But, it was quite entertaining. People had a lot to say, some of which I agree with, some of which I disagree with. But you know what? It's all good. It's all good. It's active debate. Active debate. And now you mention it, Now you mention it. Joshua has taken out the rematch clause. So Dillian Whyte is in a similar situation to Andreas the Ponce Ruiz. He's in a better situation, but a similar situation. Ponce has never really brought in any pay-per-views on his own, never headed any pay-per-views on his own and got good numbers, whereas Dillian Whyte has made a good living off doing just that. But after his last performance, after getting flatlined by Povetkin and his last lackluster performance against Tyson Fury, you'd have to say his pulling power is down. Not out, but down. But similar situation as Andreas the Ponce, but not as perilous. Andreas the Ponce got nowhere to go. And in comes the Rue from the 504. Saluting the Combat Radio Nation. Good to have you in here, the Rue. Marveloso as we come to the close of the show. There's no reason for Dillian Whyte to turn down the fight now. He said that was a stumbling block. So that's out of the way. He did say that he didn't like the fact they had a clause in the contract where they could move the date around. So there might still be things to resolve. But Eddie Hearn says that's out of the way now. So we're expecting a response. We're accepting an acceptance within 48 hours. Within 48 hours. Wasn't that a film? I like the first one. The second one was it was okay. But the first one, for the first 48 hours, that was a banger. It was a banger. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. I'm ready. Okay. Raphie had a real good day today. Finished work, got in the gym, banged it out nice and sweetly. I would love to know why so much men love to go up at the Raphie. I don't like it. I don't appreciate it. And if you listen to that, stop gawping at the Raphie. Raphie goes out there to bang in the works, get in the works. And, if there's females in there who need my help, need my assistance, need my advice and guidance, then I'm willing to help. But guys, please take your eyes off the Raphie when he is in the gym. Makes me think, what the is wrong with some of these cats nowadays? What's wrong with some of these cats nowadays, man? It seems like the testosterone is low and it's getting replaced by estrogen. The amount of times I have to turn around and look at a cat as if to say, get the away from the Raphie. Move. Do your works while Raphie is mashing his works. Yo, must be estrogen. Must be too much estrogen in the water for some of these cats. You know what I mean? But besides that, Wicked Session helped a few ladies with their technique, and the sun was shining, and had a nice, lovely meal before the show. Had some beef sausages, had a feta cheese bake, a feta cheese with some spiced and herbed tomato sauce. And of course, the Raphie, all of his meals at home have to be on a bed of spinach. You know what I mean? Popeye knows why. And I know why, but do you know why? Aye. Get it all up in you. Get your spinach all up in you. Did you spot any cute chubby? Yo. There was a girl on the doing chins on the machine. The weight assisted chins. I'm telling you, my friend, she was not chubby, but her shape was impeccable. You know, from the shoulders, decent width, came down into a nice narrow waist, and then flared at the buttercups beautifully. Flared at the buttercups beautifully, and you know the Raphie had to have a laugh and a joke with her. An absolutely impeccable form and impeccable dress code. Impeccable. I had to have a little laugh and a joke. Absolutely always willing to help the ladies work out. Yeah, and I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to put it so bluntly, but you know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You turn around some guy kind of like looking in your eyes. Looking in your eyes. You want to say, mother, what the fuck's wrong with you? You turn around, you go to another machine, you wipe it down. By the time you wipe it down, there's someone on the machine facing you. You know what the Raphie do? I just look at them with a look of disgust, pick my bag up, and walk somewhere else. And this is constant. It's constant throughout my sessions. It's just a normal part of my gym sessions now. It is absolutely aggravating. You know what I mean? I wish some of these mofos would just go away. Dang, what's wrong with them? I had to just give a certain amount of guys just a look as if to say, kindly off. It's a shame, but you know, Raphie don't let that spoil his day. He still bangs it out, still mashes the works. Fortunately, the gym I use is on 3 levels. So I just keeps it moving. A beautiful day. And, you know, it's good to help people. It's good to help people. Okay. So we're rounding off a beautiful day with an interesting, intriguing topic. And the conclusion is, hey, you know, the devil is in the detail. That's the final word. Mr. Raphael Dawkins, the Combat Radio, the like, the subscribe, the comment, the share, the hitting the bell icon to stay updated with news and notifications. And don't forget about the live show. Don't forget to follow. Don't forget about the videos. Don't forget to follow Raphie on Twitter. Actually, I'm suspended from Twitter right about now, but never mind. See you in the next one. It's Raphael Dawkins, Combat Radio. And we are out. Blessed.